What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of F1 Talk, post-race discussion, Belgium GP, post-race show, whatever you want to call this thing that we do. Um, boring, really.
Yeah.
Guess who won?
Yay. Guess how much did he won by? Yay.
Really, like a second a lap over his own teammate, ignoring his own engineer in order to maximize the gap on his own teammate.
And then he also said, I can go in with another pit stop. Do you guys want some pit stop training? It's like, come on.
Yeah, right? Like, that was such a dick comment.
Move. Yeah, that's such a dick radio talk.
yeah, exactly. What up, Crispy Critter? Welcome back, man. How you doing this morning? We are just bitching about, Verstappen and, again, his inability to be a good teammate and making cheeky comments like that to his own team.
Again, I feel like he think that Red Bull is his team.
Oh yeah, well, he feels like he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He absolutely does. And that, again, today was just like another example of that, honestly.
Yep.
So the skinny is that, big surprise, Max Verstappen was completely dominant in the race. That's, at this stage, almost to be expected. By the end of the race, he was 22 seconds ahead of his teammate, literally almost a second per lap ahead of his own teammate. And to get there, he was even ignoring his own engineer.
Yeah.
That was kind of telling him, like, yo, take it easy, like, you don't really need to push this hard. And he did anyways, which, it is no surprise from him. He likes to just do whatever he wants to do anyways. That's kind of normal for him.
That's him. That's Max being Max.
Yeah. And then right before the end, he makes this like cheeky comment of like, oh, well, I can come in for a pit stop to give the team a little bit of practice with pit stops, right? Like, mind you, they have the best pit stop team in the entire grid.
1.97 seconds.
Yeah, like, they don't need practice. Like,
your brain needs practice, Max. Your brain needs practice.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know. This is the guy that people champion, as being like, oh, he's the GOAT. But, like, dude, by every measure, like, he is a bit of a douche as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, a bit selfish,
He's not a lot selfish than everybody on the grid.
Yeah, and like, okay, aside from that, like, the race was genuinely boring. I don't really know what to say about it beyond that, because it was. We were looking at or hoping that McLaren was going to have another awesome showing. They didn't. Nope. Piastri was out after the first corner. Lando Norris, somehow, I don't know what strategy they were thinking. They put him on the hard tires, and he was just low midfield the entire time.
Low midfield, pit stop, get back to low midfield, and pit stop again, and get back to low midfield, and never got a chance to fight the front.
Exactly, and so it was just kind of like frustrating to see. We were really, it's just strange, right? Like, every single race there seems to be a somebody advances, and then the following week they fall.
Yeah,
and
that's
like
exactly what McLarens are right now. Like they were awesome in British and Hungarian Grand Prix, but then they fall in this Grand Prix, and that's exactly what happened to Aston Martin too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then that's exactly what happened to Williams too. Like they were superior today than the midfield, and who knows, they're gonna fall again.
Right. So it just becomes one of these things where it's like, okay, like what's next? Like realistically speaking, like who's gonna come up and be the darling of the day? And there's no persistent and consistent competitor, in my opinion, that even remotely gets close to giving anybody any sort of, like, there's no shift in the racing, and it's become so incredibly boring, right? Like Mercedes has basically made all of these upgrades and essentially kept their position all season. Ferrari has basically done the same thing. They're somewhere between second and fifth. Mercedes is somewhere between third and sixth. They just kind of like hover in there, and Red Bull just keeps running away with it. Like they paid off the organizers, and it's like nothing changes from race to race. I'm bored with this season.
Feels like Red Bull pay off the organizer for more engine power.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know. Like I'm just kind of like over it at this stage. Like really,
I already wanted to watch 2024 season.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I'm not even sure that 2024 is going to be that interesting. To be honest, it's probably
going to be the same. Like, Red Bull is going to run away again because the development of the car is just so far ahead.
Mm-hmm.
By that budget cap thing, they can pour their advantages so far ahead to anybody. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can spend money and get advantages and not having that much penalties, you might as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we still didn't know if the cost cap it's on the performance side or it's on catering side or it's on hospitality side. But again, it's there to show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's there to show.
I'm just like I said, I'm just bored. Like really bored. The last couple of races, I was really excited. I was like, oh, okay, like maybe McLaren's finally coming up. We're gonna have like a competitor or somebody to like, bring the fight to Red Bull. And then, dude, nowhere near.
Nope.
Nowhere near.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. On Max's own teammate too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't get it. Like, why is Max so fast and Checo so slow in the same car?
Yeah, that part I don't understand whatsoever.
I mean, I kind of get it because Red Bull's RB19 or whatever the car name they are naming. The Red Bull car, it's designed for Max, so Max has everything on the car. So Checo is not used to drive that car, I guess. But
I guess, or just, like here, I'm willing to even acknowledge that Verstappen could be really outclassing Checo in terms of like driving ability. Fine, right? Like great.
Yeah.
But like it's just the thing that I find at least interesting about his character is Like, he had enough pace that he really didn't need to be, like, he could have sat and maintained like a 12-second lead, you know, but he just almost wanted to like style on Checo, just to be like, oh, hey, by the way, this is the gap between our abilities, you know. Like, at least that's like the vibe that I got, you know. So I'm willing to acknowledge he may be that good of a driver, you know. Really. What up, El Cap? How you doing, brother? You know, and that's fine. I mean, he is a champion. Checo's not a champion, right? So, like, props to him.
He's never gonna get my, respect, because the attitude that he's given.
Yeah, his attitude does suck. Like, realistically speaking, it does.
Even though he's 3-time champion or at least 2-time champion.
Well, he's gonna be 3-time champion. Let's be real.
Champion, because that thing doesn't count. Yeah, but he's never gonna get my respect unless he changes his attitude and unless he start playing as a team player.
Yeah.
Every single grade has that moment, but when they turn older, they start to get respect because of the team and because of how they accomplish and lead the team. And Max is not. I mean, of course, they can they can be as far ahead, but still the respect it needs to be, and then you have to be respectful for your engineers and your team.
Yeah,
give you that car.
No, he's definitely a driver of one, like a team of one, but that's kind of always been the story with him. Yeah. Now, JJ is asking if we can discuss Russell. JJ, I'm curious, what's your take on Russell? I have said on more than one occasion that I am not impressed with him personally. I don't see what the hype has been, and generally every time I say that, our British sort of followers or fans either hate me in the comments or unsubscribe. Yeah, people don't like me talking crap about Russell, but I'm like, he does good in the quali, and then when it really comes to showing up for the race, like, he's very inconsistent.
Yeah, inconsistent is the word that I'm having right now, like inconsistent performance. And and inconsistent, not even performance in Spa, like they like in qualies, there's some incidents between him and Hamilton.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I get so frustrated with, like, seeing him, is that it feels like he constantly wants to prove that he's better than Hamilton.
Yeah.
And he's not. He fundamentally, like, dude, the guy has 7 world championships. Like, put it back in your pants, bro. Like, you're not better than him. Like, you're just not.
Like, I mean, maybe that's a little bit too harsh for our audience, but that's the truth. What you're saying, that is the truth, because statistics speak to itself, and that's the reason. Right. That's also a reason why we don't shit on Max's performance, because statistics speak to itself. It's just his attitude, right? Yeah.
Like realistically, like, I feel that Russell is a mid-tier driver at best, realistically speaking. Yeah, like, but the thing is,
improve, right? Like,
I have not seen any proof that he was worth Mercedes picking up, right? Like, if I had my choice of who Mercedes should have picked up, it would have been Norris, right? Norris, character, behavior, his on-track demeanor, his team dynamics is far superior. Like, he has the makings of a champion, right? Russell is either lucky or hunt-headed, and it's like you can't make a career off of that, off of being lucky, right? Remember all of 2022, everybody was like, oh, Russell's driving so well, Russell's like so amazing. But dude, he drove without any freaking competition. He was in clean air for like almost every race, to the point where like Joe and I were getting frustrated with it. We're like, dude, he hasn't had to put out elbows against anybody.
He hasn't had any real competitions.
No, not one bit, man.
And people calling him great the next championship. I mean, yeah, you can say that for the long run, but at that time, at that season, or at least this 2 seasons, we haven't seen it, because he's always driving in the clean air. There's nobody in front of him, there's nobody behind him, he's just driving by himself.
Yeah. And then now that he has to finally battle with people, he's like forgettable.
Yeah.
You know?
There's not really much to talk about on Russell.
Yeah.
Except this type of situations.
Exactly. He's always been stuck in the midfield. And like, here's the thing, right? If he was such a great driver, right? Hamilton has been stuck in the midfield before as well, but he's been able to pull out to P4, P3, right?
And remember,
same car, Russell cannot and has not.
And Hamilton has been consistent on the podiums for the last few races.
Yeah.
So,
or at the very least in podium contention, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, realistically speaking, I've never seen what the hype is about Russell. I really don't care for him, even personality-wise.
Between me and Sharif, for us, in order to like a driver, we need to see a proof, a statistic, a proof that he can actually perform on the track. If he can show us that he can perform on the track consistently, then we'll change our mind.
Yeah, but he hasn't.
He hasn't,
you know. So I'm just kind of like
performing.
Yeah.
I really love Albon's race today. Albon and Lando is pretty good too. So today, aside from the midfield, but like wheel to wheel action, they are actually performing very well today.
Yeah. Albon had a great race.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was a great race with a lot of lack of downforce. Yeah. So his cornering speeds were not great, but his straight line speed was freaking amazing. I mean, that thing was coming down the straightaways like a freaking rocket ship.
Yeah.
Ocon had a good race as well, which was really nice to see, especially after the double DNF last race.
Yeah.
You know? So fingers crossed, maybe again, this is my frustration with this season. We're really looking at like P2, P3 and below for any excitement this season.
Yeah, that's so frustrating. There's nothing to watch. There's nothing to watch on Red Bull.
Yeah, and that's the thing of it for me, right? Like you don't watch, for example, the NFL. You don't watch the World Cup of soccer or football if you're from overseas. You don't watch the NBA. You don't watch hockey championships to see who's third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Yeah.
You look to see who's going to be the big winners, right? Like first, second, third. You don't watch the Olympics to see who's not going to end up on the podium. You know what I mean?
And that's what FIA trying to fix too. Like they're trying to fix one team dominate,
right?
By adding like sprint race, by adding like qualifying format.
Fuck the sprint races, man. I'm gonna say it. Fuck sprint races.
So stupid.
I hate them.
And by adding so many different things, example budget cap, but then it still doesn't work. And actually, by adding the new regulation on the Formula One car, it still doesn't work on Red Bull because they are just have secret sauce.
It's another period of domination. They were talking about it. The commenters were just like, you know, we had the what's it called, the Schumacher era. We had the Mercedes and Hamilton era. Now we've got like the Red Bull era, and it's like, but you know what? During each of those eras, there were massive fall-offs of fan viewership. And I just saw an article where they were talking about that, how they have lost like 500,000 US viewers, even if they're fans of Verstappen, because there's no point in watching the race. You know he's going to win every single race. So why am I going to sit and watch live? Why am I going to, even Joe and I, we woke up a little bit after the race started. We both started watching, and we both ended up dozing off at least once, if not multiple times, to the race, because we're just like, this is boring. You know, like I was sending emails like through the majority of the race just to stay awake.
I was about to turn on Diablo 4.
Yeah, dude. Like, really, it's no joke. Because it's so bad.
Because I mean, it's not their fault that they are that fast, but you know that they are gonna win not only the race, but they are gonna win by 23 seconds ahead, which is very frustrating because you know why can't every other team does that, like performance wise. Why did all of the teams suddenly feel like they are dumb?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Like, granted, like all of those teams other than Red Bulls are car manufacturer, race car manufacturer, and Red Bull is not a race car manufacturer, right?
Yeah,
and they can still. But so why does a proper race car manufacturer so outperforming a commercial company?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. It's beyond me and the realm of my understanding of things.
This is the most boring era, man. Like you just see
for sure.
You just see Max just running away, cruising, and chill. There's not much competitions.
So LCAP had a tech question here. They Red Bull kept describing excess tire wear for Verstappen. They're somehow directly measuring this or modeling it or extrapolating it from telemetry and prior data. I think it's actually all the above, right? So they're monitoring tire temperatures real time. They can't actually measure. I don't know of a system that they can measure the surface quality of it, but they can observe it, right? So they can actually see what's happening with the changing surface of the tire through the camera system.
Yeah,
and then they model it on top of that.
In that areas, they actually have every single race. They will have every single team's the same. Like they actually have factories back in where they're located and live streaming with the team on the grid in the pit box. So whenever they have data, they will send it back to the factory, and then they will analyze, maybe, I don't know, maybe 3D model it like real time, and then come back to them real time. So I mean, I'm not sure if that really happens, but if they have that technology, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, like I said, they don't have the ability to read the actual surface, but like when you or like if somebody, for example, cooks the brakes into a turn, you can observe the flat spot, right? Like you can actually see it with your own eyes, right? So if you combine that with active telemetry data, but then you also know how your car performs and how much downforce it's generating, what kind of G's you're pulling in the turns, right? You can model tire a deck. Like that's actually not an issue at all.
There's so much sensors on a Formula One car, so much computer powering on a Formula One car. So it's not a surprise that they can manage and analyze every single part of the car, even surface damage, like side pod, or like, I mean, those things it's easy to spot, but if it's on the body, they can still see it because there's a sensor on the body of the car.
Yeah, and as far as like the sprint versus sprint shootout, I don't know if there is a difference, if I'm 100% honest. I believe they're the same thing, right? Like sprint shootout is the race, unless they're kind of talking about qualifying for the sprint versus the sprint race itself. That's kind of, to me, I don't know. So, and honestly, I largely haven't paid attention because I don't care about.
Yeah, actually, sprint shootout is the qualifying section for the sprint.
Okay,
sprint,
there you go.
And sprint is the like 22 laps race.
Yeah,
no mandatory pit stop needed.
Yeah, there you go. So shootout is the quality for the sprint, and then sprint's just the sprint race. Yeah, that's what I figured. But again, I'm so bored with the sprint races, and they have no impact on the like. This is one of the few times that I genuinely agree with Max. Like, I don't understand the purpose of the sprint because you put the cars in unnecessary risk for the day of the race.
I mean, they still have points in for the constructor, well, not drivers' championship, but just small, little, very little. You might as well not need it.
Exactly.
So sprint shootout and sprint is just for the audience that pays.
Now, as far as like second seed at Red Bull, we've talked about this. Last week we discussed this, and like realistically, if anybody, they'll probably pull up Ricardo, from AlphaTauri, because from what I can tell, they kind of want to get Checo out. Like that's the vibe that I get, right? Like he's not getting along with Max. He's, Max is a curse basically for other teammates. Ricardo ran away from that situation, but Ricardo wants to be in the big show, so he's going to work his ass off right now at AlphaTauri. Even though Yuki Tsunoda had a really, this was the best drive I've seen from Yuki Tsunoda all season long. It's a first from him, realistically speaking. And Helmut Marko has never been shy to show his affinity for Danny Rick, So realistically speaking, I do think that Danny Rick is the most likely candidate for coming up through the ranks.
And realistically speaking, even though Sharif don't like Daniel Ricciardo,
I'm not a Danny Rick fan,
but
personally.
Realistic speaking, and statistic speaking, he's still a Formula One driver with 8-time Grand Prix winner. And he's still a more experienced driver out of every single one of them. AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not the rocket science, right? It's just statistics speak to itself, and then if he can perform well, not like well, but if he can perform extra more powers and extra more great position out of AlphaTauri, then he will probably get the seat for Red Bull.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Absolutely. And as far as this is concerned, JJ, they are always looking for next generational talent.
Yeah.
I mean, in point of fact, that is Helmut Marko's like primary job. Actually, is to look for the next generation of talent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, realistically, they always are. They have their eye out for who's really going to be able to conform to the Red Bull way, but also perform at a higher level. And that's how they got Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
You know, realistically.
That's also how they got rid of Nick DeVries.
Mm-hmm.
In the first place, they get him because he's the next generation talent.
Yeah.
But then
he wasn't performing.
Yeah. And also,
so they axed him. Just like Albon.
Yeah.
They did the same with Albon.
Yeah, I was gonna say Albon and Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and this is the truth, right? Red Bull doesn't want anyone to challenge Max. And in point of fact, right, to Max's credit, I don't think anybody can really challenge him. You know, like he is an exceptional driver. There's no question. He is world-class level driver. You know, like I hate to say it because I'm not a personal fan of his, but I can't deny his talent. I can't deny his skill, you know? But he is. You look at his lines, you look at his tire management, you look at what it takes to be a good driver, he checks all of the boxes.
Yeah.
Now, is he a good teammate? That's a different story, right? I don't think he has that side of him, and blame Jos Verstappen for that, you know, if you want. But
well, you go figure, like father, like son.
yeah, you know. But realistically, like, I don't think there's anybody on the grid who could be a teammate of his right now, short of Hamilton, that would actually give him some competition if they were in the same car.
Yeah,
you know. Like Hamilton is the only one out there right now who, and maybe Alonso. Alonso's getting a little bit up there in age, right? Yeah. But realistically, number one.
He just passed his birthday yesterday.
So yeah, he did.
Alonso.
Yeah, dude. So it's he is really the only one. Screw you, CPM. No congratulations here. You come into my live stream just to say that. You guys don't know. I know CPM. It's all love.
Yeah, we all know CPM. He's
Yeah, exactly. You troll. Yeah, LCAT, like they may have some sensors that I don't know about, but my guess is they are they do have like angular momentum sensors and stuff like that, but they definitely are still leaning heavy on observation and modeling, you know, what they understand of the car.
And also just the experience of them observing the car for such a long time, observing the race for such a long time.
Yeah.
So they can have all that knowledge. And of course, the sensor on Formula One cars superior, and there's a lot of sensors, believe it or not.
Dude, Max didn't need to drive it like he stole it to win. Even after passing Checo, there was a point where he was even like 12 seconds ahead of him. He could have coasted and still won, man. Like
even the commentary says he could have get another new set of tire, and he can still cruise to his finish line.
Yeah, exactly. Like he didn't have to drive anywhere near as hard as he did at the end of the race.
Like
he's already that dominant.
And I feel like Max is not actually the first time for such a long time. I feel like Max is not even happy drive.
I think he's bored. If I'm honest,
bored. Yeah, he's bored. That's what
like,
I'm saying.
Don't get me wrong. Bored. He enjoys the wins, right? And he's happy for his legacy and he's happy for his accomplishment. But dude, I genuinely think that he is bored that he's doing it so easily.
And he's doing it so.
This is true.
Frustrated because no other teams can catch him.
Yeah, dude, once he gets like into first place, he's in clean air. He's in clean. Do you guys understand that like 5 to 6 seconds equates to like a quarter of a mile? At least at those speeds, right? So by the time you hit 20 seconds, 22 seconds, you are easily almost like a mile ahead of your closest competitor. Like, that's ridiculous. It doesn't feel that way because of the speeds that they're going, but he is that far ahead, And
he's having all of the clean airs in front of him and in the back of him. So it's no surprise. And when you're having a clean air, your tire deck is lower, your brake temperature is lower, your performance of the car is better.
Yeah. I don't know about Mansell. Definitely, Alonso would be nice to see. I mean, it would be interesting to see Alonso have an even more competitive car because personally, I'm an Alonso fan. I like all day or all afternoon or all night last night. I was watching like Alonso highlights from like 2005, 2006, like the V10 era.
That was a great era.
Oh God, the car sounded so much better. So much better, you guys. The current cars sound so garbage.
Mansell and Alonso, all those old generation driver, last generation, like those generation drivers, all they have in common, one thing that they all have in common is the aggressiveness that they are having.
Oh yeah.
And if you guys see Nigel Mansell drive back in the day, he's very aggressive, and he's aggressive, but he's premier. Like his driving style, and he can win races. So I don't know if his team, if their teammate is Max, I don't know if they can stand Max as far as personality goes. Maybe they will probably not gonna stand Max because his personality is just what we're saying. It's like shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I'd love to see Alonso freaking.
One thing I want to see is
era.
It's Alan Prost go against Max. I think Max is gonna hurt.
Oof.
If you guys want to discuss this, Alan Prost and Max Verstappen and Ayrton Senna, I don't think Max got any chances, man.
Oof.
Yeah, that's just the reality.
Dude, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Morgan's better off like trying to recruit FIA fucking support.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. At least Ferrari placed. It's such a boring thing to say, though. who cares? Like almost, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of what you expect them to do. Like they should be, fighting for first place, but
no, they are fighting for midfield.
yeah, like I don't know. It's yeah, I mean, really, I don't know what else to say other than that. If I'm 100% honest with you, like, see, what I want, and dude, even Hamilton and everybody else wants is a return to this. Let me share my screen real quick here. Dang it! I did the whole like resizing thing just for it to like glitch and there we go. This is what we all want back.
That's Formula One.
Mm-hmm.
That's Formula One. And this is Fernando Alonso driving.
Yep. Oh. I get shivers, man, just hearing that engine.
Oh my god. That gives me a goosebump.
Right?
Yeah, modern day Formula One car doesn't sound like that.
Modern day Formula One car sounds like garbage compared to this.
Modern day Formula One car sounds like your vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
And again,
like even when people like interpret or like try to make the sounds with their mouth, this is the era that they
will mimic. Yeah,
they try to imitate. It's the V10 era.
And look at how the car behave on the track. It's so twitchy and it's so agile.
Yeah.
It's like a ninja, basically.
It is.
And the modern day Formula 1 car look like when they're on the track,
boat.
It looks like a truck.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to the V10 era.
Yeah. I agree. I really like.
But I think
Peace out, El Cap.
Don't get me wrong. I think
take care.
There's gonna be Honda engineers or advisors helping them.
Oh yeah, for sure. But hopefully it's a learning curve that they screw up.
Yeah. So sad, man. We just have to hope for them to screw up.
Right?
So sad.
It is. It feels so like petty. You know? It feels like so lame.
Like
what
I want is everybody has in their prime development and then compete to the win. That's what I want. Not like not hoping for other teams to fall down. But everybody just climb up and then just go for the win. That's what it's the best back in the day. Like every single team has that kind of moment.
Yeah. Honestly, it's I hate to pray for somebody's downfall, you know.
Yeah, me too.
But I want better competition than we're currently getting, and it's just not there.
What we're currently watching is cruising on the highway. Saturday drive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, dude.
Next to the ocean. Like, big store or something.
Yeah, dude. We'll see. Again, I hate to pray for somebody's downfall, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, okay, let's, during the Schumacher era, I was bored. I stopped watching F1 for a while, and even at the start of Hamilton's domination, I stopped watching F1 for a while because, again,
they're gonna win.
He's gonna win. What can you do? So it's like,
and again, there's nothing wrong with it, right? It's just the team is a better R&D place, and they spend the money right, and they develop it right. And that's what happened to Red Bull right now. It's just the overall competition is so forward. The overall competition, nobody can catch up.
The question is for you guys, right? Are you guys going to keep watching the rest of the season? I mean, we just hit summer break, right? And are you guys going to keep watching once the season resumes? Because I mean, I will, because we're doing this as a channel thing, right? And we've kind of committed to putting our time and energy into this, right? But you guys don't have an obligation like this. So, are you going to keep watching? That to me is really kind of the interesting question.
10 races to go. It's still a lot of race. 10 races is a lot of race.
It's a lot of race, but we already know the result.
Yeah.
Realistically, know.
Yeah.
So, let me see.
Next one is Netherlands, which is Max's home race. And then Italy, Monza. So, we're probably going to see Max again in the race remaining of the season on the podium.
Let's see. How many did he do? Okay. So yeah, by Qatar, he could be the champion.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even Suzuka again, like last year.
No, I mean, really, if he has, perfect run, right, and he gets all the maximum points he can get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he could win in 5 or 6 races.
Yeah.
And so, this is. The question is, are you guys going to... I mean, he could win. The latest probably is the USGP, right? But realistically, current projections are that he'll win by Qatar,
If he's in the perfect run. And
which he will be. Let's be real. Unless he gets crashed into off the start line, he's gonna win. So, is there a point for you guys? Like I said, we're gonna keep watching. That goes without saying. But are you guys gonna keep watching? Is what I'm really most curious about. No, CPM. I am not, because the prices on the tickets were so absurd. They wanted over $1,000 for standing room. And I'm not gonna my fat ass is not gonna sit or not gonna stand for an entire race
and this
pay
is what
$1,000.
this is what happened to not F1's fault, but Las Vegas' fault, because they see the opportunity to make money, so they pair up and raise up the price with FIA, with not FIA, the Formula One organization, and then they wanted to ask $10,000 for a ticket.
Yeah.
Which is
no. Definitely not. Unless I could get like a hotel room with a view. Definitely not. Yeah, exactly. No, like realistically, what I'll probably do is IndyCar is coming back to Detroit. Like when I was growing up, Indy used to actually race through the streets of Detroit. I will more likely than not go to an IndyCar back in Detroit, because that's my home. Like that's my hometown, you know, and I have that nostalgia. But I'm not paying, and there are plenty of places where you can get hotel rooms for cheaper than Vegas to watch. So I hate to say it, but that's the reality of it, you know. But yeah, 9X. Yeah, like when you put so many years into the sport, it's hard to not watch.
Yeah.
And encourage here only watches for Lewis, and I don't blame you, man.
To be honest,
I really don't.
I'm the same. Like I want to watch him. I want to watch him drive.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Yep. I mean, really, Houston is still the premier U.S. race. There's no question about that, for sure. And all into for Max to win in Vegas, yeah, it's easy money.
Yeah,
you know, like
if you want to bet, then yeah, you better bet Max.
No, like I honestly, like I think he's gonna sweep the rest of the season, and that's really about it. You know, like it's boring, it's not exciting, but that's where it's going. You know. That's pretty gangster. That is pretty gangster courage. Just like sit and just watch us on board. Like he is an amazing talent. There's no doubt. And it's true. Yeah, the V8 era drivers were all about racecraft. We agree, both of us.
Exactly what we actually talked about last stream.
Yeah.
We say like the car, it feels lighter, it feels agile, and it feels faster.
Yeah.
And people and the car is smaller too, so there's more opportunity to overtake that smaller scale car.
And it requires more strategy. It requires more sort of like focus and talent, and it just is different. Yeah, the car is a boat. It really is.
The car is a big truck, a brick.
The V8 and V10 drivers, both like had a lot more balls. They were a lot manlier, in my opinion, and they had more like racecraft, more strategy, more.
I feel like the older generation race driver just has more in it than the newer generation driver.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, and JJ, what's really funny is like the cars look slow, but if you look at the statistics, they're actually faster. But like because of their size and I don't know what else, you know, they look ridiculously slow.
Yeah, especially coming out from the corner.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like standing still.
Yeah.
And a lot of them is just the weight of the car Like you can feel the weight of the car. It's dragging the car.
Yeah. It's just
And the weight of the car is just gonna increase next season. It's not good. They are not gonna make it lighter.
Yeah. No, I wish they would shrink the cars down. Yeah. I really do. But especially with the underfloor aero, they're not going to. Really for sure.
It's really hard.
Yep, they do. And then they use the DRS zones to do overtaking in the straights.
That's why
it's boring.
DRS, I keep on saying it. They should minimize the DRS usage or get rid of DRS total.
Or get rid of it, 100%.
Yeah. Because DRS just making pass by so much easier. It actually feels like it doesn't require any racecraft. Bypass.
Yeah. No, exactly. It doesn't require any racecraft.
Yeah, and back in the day, the DRS, the flip it, this part, if you guys can see it, this part, the DRS part here, back in the day, they used to have to manually adjust every single time. So you can't. There is no electronic involved, and so you have to strategically place your DRS thingy prior to the race. So it's a strategy game back in the day, but now it's just within 1 second. Okay, DRS is like a boost on, and then yay, you guys pass by. That's it.
Yeah, it really this is what we're saying when we talk about like the V8 and V10 drivers had more racecraft, like they were required to, realistically speaking.
They don't have that much technology in the car. So it requires human input. So they have to develop that in order to encounter the car.
Yeah. And it's true, the width also makes it harder to overtake. And it's we all have been tricked. We've all been hoodwinked. They said there was not going to be any more runaway leaders, And guess what? We've had now a year and a half of runaway leaders, and all the wheel-to-wheel action is kind of in the mid-range. Like, yay. Boring. But we're going to wind it down. The last thing I will address is this. Lewis's penalty from the sprint race. Total garbage.
No, I don't think they should give Lewis 5-second penalty because it's racing.
It was stupid. Did he get a penalty for leaving? No, he got one in the shootout, right? Or the sprint race. But also he was they were observing or reviewing him weaving on the track. I don't know that resulted in him getting a penalty in the race. I haven't
seen the penalty yet. As far as and they actually
I just want to cover my bases here.
And actually there's another one. I think it's the same one, but there's another one where he came back on the track in front of Russell. Kind of block. Or if it's Russell come back on the track, I don't remember, it's either or.
Yeah.
So in that I don't really know. I don't really have any ideas on what is going on as far as time being. But he do get 5-second penalties for
for the sprint, which is just
into crushing into circles. But I think it's race incident because both of them has fair amount of space. And Hamilton said actually on the post race interview, he actually referred back to Ayrton Senna's famous quote. He said, "If you see the gap and you didn't go for the gap, you're now no longer a racing driver. And that's exactly what Hamilton does. He go for the gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a very fair play, in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
So,
because if Sergio is in Hamilton's place, he will crash into Hamilton. Same situation. It's going to be the same. Nobody is gonna back down.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just kind of reinforces for me what seems to be like an issue with the FIA going after Hamilton more often than not. You know, when a lot of like even the announcers were saying that in that situation, like they were absolutely shocked and surprised that he got the penalty, you know. But
announcers, it actually says it's not ideal. It's not fair for Hamilton to have that penalty.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, guys.
Yeah. Of course it's Red Bull.
Yeah. On that note, we're going to wrap it up today. We hope you guys weren't overly bored by the race. Thank you for joining us for today's conversation. CPM, you're a jerk, but I miss you. Haven't talked in a while. Hope all is well. And yeah, guys, we will see you in the next live after the summer break. In the meantime, we're probably going to do some videos. We definitely need to talk about the ousting of Otmar, which was a bit of a surprise.
And this rumor says Mattia Binotto is coming back to Formula One grid, but I think it's for Alpine. Rumor.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
Rumor. Because the rumor is just news just come out yesterday.
So yeah, dudes, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification, you know, make sure you catch whatever content we put out during the break. And again, thank you for tuning in, man.
3 weeks break.
Yeah. I kind of need it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good because we don't have to watch Max drive.
Yeah. Don't have to wake up to be put back to sleep.
Or at least, unless you guys want to watch us drive. Like,
yeah.
Racing game.
Alrighty, people. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for sticking with us. And yeah, have a great weekend. And make sure you go spend some time with some loved ones.
Yeah. Happy Sunday.
Peace.